Good morning, evening, afternoon. Masajati here. Welcome to Moss on Sundays, where we understand or try to figure out what life is really all about and how to change it, not just for ourselves, our personal selves, but these changes become so dramatic that your loved ones transform even if they don't do the work. And that's how you can actually tell that you're actually shifting, you're actually transforming at a very deep level, or I would call it, say, your genetic level, or the way we're actually supposed to evolve, hence evolution. Um, Nowadays, as we look at history, or as we get pushed to look at history, like many of you, whether you're watching the show or not, there's a lot of people are looking back on their lives and going, what the hell happened? Right? What's going on? Why am I in the situation that I'm at? And it's not just about, like, shit, did I mess up? I should have gone to school. Maybe I should have gone to school. Maybe I shouldn't have gone to school. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have done that. This or not. It's not about that, guys. It's not about that, because you've done the same thing that your parents did. Your parents went through the same process. Their parents went through the same process, and so on and so on and so on. The deal is here, this time, this point in time, this point in history is literally about, no, wait a second. We need to look at the patterns that we're running, not just our life situation patterns, but your parents' patterns, your grandparents' patterns, your great great grandparents' patterns. And you'll start to see the patterns that I see in people, the algorithms, algorithms or patterns or frequencies are very powerful. This is where Google, this is where Facebook looks at the algorithms that, and it just literally sees the patterns that you search for, the types of things that you're searching for, and it literally creates an identity and throws it back at you in the form of advertisement and so on like that. AI sees patterns. That's how well it works. It's really fantastic. So, they're using the concepts of your natural genetics, or basically nature, or the laws of the universe. The laws of the universe are based on patterns. So we need to start to see patterns in our lives, patterns in societies, and if you're especially a political leader, it's really good to see patterns in societies, patterns not just in what you want out of a country or out of a society, or the people that you're leading. But if you start to look at history, you'll see all the patterns that just keep repeating itself over and over again. The problem is that these patterns get worse and worse, or they bind and they get tighter and tighter, and then they have to explode. They have to disconnect. So you might experience it in your life, but as a society, as a human species, we're experiencing it as a whole, because that's how far off we've gone, repeating the same old patterns. It just can't happen anymore. We're basically tied in a knot, and that we can't unravel. So something has to break. And that's what's happening in today's society. So you want to be ready for that. And that's what we do here with XI, helping you become exponentially intelligent. 18-day hyper meditations that we do, some of the other things that meditations that we do. Again, they're called meditations, but they actually help you rewire who you are, so you break those patterns at a very, very deep level. I would call it your genetics and beyond. So, and to prove that to you, we've got a beautiful bunch of people here that we're going to be focusing on. I think it's basically on hormone type, but it could be other aspects of their other aspects as well. On these impact sessions, we're going to have themes. So if you want to be on an impact session, again, the team can connect you with that, or the team can send you a link on the chat for you to check it out. Next week, gosh, I don't know what next week's theme is, but we'll send it out to you on a newsletter. So make sure to subscribe to this channel and also subscribe to the newsletter, and you'll see the theme. And then if you've got that issue, and then you'll be on these impact sessions. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Again, I'm not for those people who are new. We always get new people. I'm not a psychic. I don't do hypnosis or anything like that. This is very, very different. This is about, say, changing your frequency. You change your frequency, you change your life. It's not about changing your state of mind, like somebody says. Some people say you change your state of mind, you focus on something that you want. And again, those are the patterns that we have to disconnect from, because you can achieve what you can achieve with those type of modalities, again, goal setting, state of mind, and so on like that. But so many people that have achieved like a lot of success, they're my clients because they're not happy with their success, or they're still getting ill, they're still having a lot of issues, right? So again, those are the pattern, the deeper patterns. You can have success, ethical success, and be happy with your success and other achievements. All right, so we'll go to Reem first. By the way, my abilities are basically everybody has these abilities, by the way. Right. So, Reem, anything special that you want to work on, or
Hormone.
hormone?
And yeah, I know I have irregular, it's irregular. My hormones are not regular. I just turned
Yeah.
40 last couple of months ago. And you did tell me in Ibiza last year to kind of like support them and check them out, but I didn't. And I'm kind of doing that now.
Okay. Well, better now than never. Yeah. So just remembering you, Reem, you really had a masculine frequency around you. That makes sense for you. Now, again, even your facial features and so on like that, you might have noticed that it's changed over the time that you've worked with XI. If that makes sense to you, you're more and more feminine. You're turning 40 now. Take a breath in and just notice your organs.
Yeah,
Uh,
can you give me like I want like a thorough physical scan if that's possible.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
I found out that my body's acidic and I had all these like opposing issues. Like I need protein, but I can't have it because I'm acidic, and it's like all these complex things that are kind of like opposing each other.
Yes. So again, not a doctor or anything, but I'll tell you what I see. So I'm glad you brought that opposing thing up because that's what I'm seeing. So as I was saying, so you had like a masculine frequency in and around you. Does that make sense to you? You're literally, as you would have aged, you would have turned more and more masculine or more and more like your father, right? What happened though is that you awoken. It's like, gosh, you know what? I'm a woman, right? So now, through the work that you've done, you're like literally disconnecting. But the problem is, or where you are now, is that you're running, say, a feminine identity or frequency, and then you're also running, say, somehow your remnants of that masculine frequency for you as well. So this is where your testosterone and estrogen levels. Again, I'm not a doctor, but that's where your body is confused, especially as you go, as women go into menopause. Uh, what you're doing is like you're setting the next stage up, right? Because when you go through menopause, women and men go through some sort of menopause, but it's different. Obviously, it's not as noticeable, but for women, for you specifically, as you go through that process, one, you're aging backwards. Again, that's the work of XI. So one, you've got three factors. One, you're separating or you're disconnecting the masculine portion of yourself that you're not using and you haven't used in a long time. Does that make sense to you? As you go through menopause, which is another form of, say, puberty for people. Okay, just think of it that way, right? Your body changes, your bone structure changes, your blood level, your blood changes, and so on like that. So, so that aspect of you. So, and then there's your current self. So you have your current self with your current hormonal situation, and then you have that masculine identity that's peeling away, and then you're going towards a menopause. So take a breath in. Again, just notice your sexual organs.
I kind of feel like I let go of a lot last week. I detoxed as well after this morning, and I
Yes,
feel like I'm finally allowed to actually be a female. Like I was never
yes,
really allowed to be.
perfect.
Well,
That's beautiful. Yes. So, at a frequency level, or if you want to call it your spirit level, you've adopted. Yes, it's like yes, I'm female. Okay, again, that genetic programming. I'm female. And then it has to go through your, your subconscious, your super intelligence, or your autonomic nervous system, right? That tells you how your heart should work, your breathing patterns, and your liver functions, your hormones, and all that. So your super subconscious, or the autonomic nervous system, that's adapting and regulating to you as well. And then also take a breath in, hon, and notice again your sexual organs and the bottom part of your brain. Uh, to me, that's literally the biggest sexual organ that we have. That sexual identity that we have. Without that, say, identity, it really messes us up, and then it messes up the physical, say, parts or the hardware that we have. That dictate for a female or a male. And take a breath in again. So what you're doing now is that, again, you're awakened and you're going, wait. So menopause, or the concept of menopause for you, has like an awakened your identity. Just again, like kids in puberty go, shit, you know what? I'm going to solidify who I am after I go through this process. Again, so what you're doing is like, no, wait a second. I want to be a strong, say, woman, the way women should be designed. High level women, strong, confident, competent women, not the way we have in current today's society, because that's messed up. Men as well, but we're talking about women. So take a breath in. So what you're doing is recreating yourself to be that, say, XI woman, and then you're also going backwards in age. So you're fighting against, say, your normal genetic processes as well. So there's a couple things going on. So what I was doing with you or helping you is, one, trying to figure out, say, or calculate the age that you could actually possibly be or go back to. So how do you mind sharing how old you are, hon?
I just turned 40 a couple of months ago.
Okay, so that's a pivotal moment as well, because it's decades. So you're 40, again, a pivotal time. So you would feel like 32. 32 is a pivotal, or shift for you. So it's almost like your body could actually go back to a 32-year-old, and then your hormonal status will go back, and you'll actually do 32 as a strong young female versus a mixture of your dad and all that, masculine identity and that fear and stuff. So this is a chance for you to get a second chance on life, if that makes sense for you. But to get you back to that 32, it's going to be a little disorienting for you, and that's what you're going through. Does that make sense for you? So you're in a beautiful state. Don't try to control it here, because you tend to control it here and you worry too much. That's the key. All right. So you're in a beautiful state. As those things shift, though, for you, your acidity and all those other things will start to reclaim themselves, because that's where it really originates from. Okay. So we'll move on. We'll go to, is it Matthew? Hey, Matthew.
Hey, Moss.
How's it going, buddy?
Good, good. Thanks for talking to me today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've been struggling with low testosterone for like, I don't know, the last 10 years or so. And
Yeah.
just wondering if you could help me out with that.
Absolutely. Again, not a doctor or anything, but take
Sure.
a breath, buddy. So again, so you have your hardware, again, your physical body, sexual components and all that, your identity. But
Right.
the main feature of your sex hormones or your, sexual parts are literally your brain, the aspect of your brain, or the software, let's just call it. So for you, Matthew, take a breath in and just notice your throat area and your thyroid area. Did your mom have thyroid issues, by the way?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm kind of seeing that in you as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, a lot of men who have, say, testosterone issues or maybe high estrogen levels, because again, I'm not a doctor, but I see that your estrogen levels are, say, higher than what they should be, which actually drops your testosterone or creates like unusable testosterone for you.
Right.
That makes sense. for you.
Yep.
So, so that's the mixture there. And again, most individuals, they'd go to a doctor and go, gosh, I've got low testosterone. So,
Hmm.
put you on like hormone therapy or
Yep,
hormone.
exactly.
You don't want to do that, Matthew. You want to take supplements that enhance or help you, release your own natural
Right.
testosterone. You don't want to take hormone therapy unless you've removed your parts, or those are cancer. But overall, again, you're not like that. So take a breath in. The bigger key, Matthew, is literally your mom. I see you, and I see your mom right in front of you. So whatever that you do is literally through your mom's eyes. That makes sense. You're
It does.
always the process. So when you're looking like that, and again, most people when they have hormone issues, hormone problems, they never think about the software of what's going on or what's really operating you. And it goes beyond the brain. It goes beyond, I would say, your blueprint, your master blueprint. So you've got Matthew's master blueprint here, and then your mom just replaced that,
Hmm.
through childhood. Basically, your mom either smothered the hell out of you or basically dictated or made every possible choice that you
Yeah,
for you.
basically that one.
Okay,
Yep.
so was whichever one. So if your mom is making, say, every choice for you, so you as a young kid will adopt. It's like, well, shit. Okay, that then I'll put Matthew aside. Matthew is a man, right? And then
Right.
it's like, oh, I guess in this reality, and this again, that's why puberty and so on is really important. From 0 to 7, I call it your liquid stage, where you start to say understand the reality, and you start to say create the way you are. Okay, and if your mom's taking care of you, or again deciding everything for you, you start to adopt your mom's pattern.
Okay.
And you go through puberty, then you're more of a feminine frequency, because that's what you go. That's what at a very deep
Right.
level. Oh, well, it seems like I need to be controlled by women. So basically, women tell you what to do, whether it's your mom, girlfriend, or anybody else, or you attract feminine men around you as well. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's nothing
Okay.
wrong with sensitive, but you can be a man and be sensitive without the pattern of your mom. So take a breath in, buddy. Let's and are you kind of new to XI, or
I am. Yeah.
okay,
Yep.
you're kind of new. So you're it's quite impressive. Because the little that you've done with XI, you've actually like you're actually like awakened. So whenever you started XI, it's like something like lit up in you.
Hmm.
Does that make sense
It
to you?
does.
And it's like, damn, this is that path. This is that thing that could actually
Yep.
help out. So, yeah, and I think that comes from a lot of trial and error. Maybe you've tried in the past. You've tried a lot of things in the past, and
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with
whatever.
that.
Yeah. So take a breath in. Some of the natural factors to raise testosterone for you is like, say, tribulus. It comes in different forms. There's other, herbs, things of that nature that you can take. But tribulus is really, really good for you.
Okay.
Uh, that'll bring back again. It enhances your natural testosterone levels. But the bigger key too is that there's also supplements out there, and you can look it up. They're usually for bodybuilders and so on like that. Take a breath in. Where is your mom, by the way? She's still around, or is
She
she
is. Yeah. I don't have a lot of contact with her though now.
okay? Well, let's just say she thinks about you a lot. So she might actually call you up after this session, because I'm disconnecting you from her
Okay.
completely at a frequency level. Okay.
Okay.
So that way, what'll happen to you, what'll happen to Matthew is that you will actually see two versions. So right now, it's Matthew, and then you have the lens of your mom that you see through. So people will look at you as more feminine, although you're not, if that makes sense, or
Right.
more sensitive. so to speak. Again, and it's just not attractive to women. No offense, dude, but that's just
No,
basically
it's
what it
not.
is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you got your glasses like this. Matthew here, you're looking through the lens of your mom, creating your life through your mom's eyes. And now what I did for you is basically you'll have two lenses. So you'll have Matthew's lens and then your mom's lens, and you'll look at both lenses. So you walk into a situation, you'll start to see what the real Matthew without mom's version is
Okay.
looking through. Okay. And then you'll go, oh, this is my old version. This is how I used to see myself. And you'll actually see that change or that switch in the mirror. Okay.
Okay.
And by the way, for you all that's listening in, if you have of similar issues, I'll be working on you as a group as well, even if you're listening to this as a recording. So take a breath in. You can take a look at the supplements, like I was saying, to help you reduce estrogen. Okay.
Okay.
Because again, if you aged or if you lived long enough, say about 150 years, you would literally eventually like kind of transform into a feminine frequency. Your body shape would be more feminine, so like
That
that.
makes sense.
Anyway, so
Awesome.
all that. So frequency wise, just disconnecting you from your mom, recreating your say pattern or blueprint that you see your life through, and then physically, what you can do is just like what I said. Testosterone supplements to
Okay.
boost you up, and then something to eliminate the estrogen, so you'll have more usable testosterone.
That's awesome.
So,
Thanks,
yeah,
Moss. Appreciate it.
you bet, buddy. We will move on to Irene.
Hello, Maz. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome, Irene. And before we get to you, this is really cool. Testosterone is lower in general in this generation due to uh xenoestrogens. Yeah. So yes, so that's absolutely true. Which really destroys our culture as, again, specific male, specific female. Drinking water destroys testosterone because they want more and more docile men. And again, it's crazy and it's not conspiracy theories, but overall, you want docile men because, well, they're docile, they're easier to control, right? Especially if you're like trying to change a system or a political group. You don't want people fighting against the government, so you create docile individuals, and that's what's happening as a whole as well. So anyway, so outside of that, what you can do is again recreate yourself. So anyway, Irene, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me, and excited to be here.
Yeah. How old are you? Can I ask?
I'm 35.
35. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So take a breath in. Well, you look a hell of a lot younger, which
Thank
is
you.
which is really, really nice. But then this is actually so Irene is how we develop the frequency spas that we use, to create, say, youthfulness and beauty and long lasting youthfulness and beauty, or just to recreate or age, I would say backwards, or come into an ageless space. So something happened to you, I want to say around 13 or 14, Irene, which actually they say stunted your identity, literally. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. We can talk about it, or you don't need to. It's a public show, so if you want to talk about it, we can. If you don't, that's cool too. It doesn't really matter. But around that age, maybe 12 to 14. Now that I see more detail, okay, does that make sense for you? Whatever
Yes.
happened to you, it's not just a specific event from what I'm seeing. It was just like a series event that you didn't know what to do with or how to handle it. So again, and that's an important time for young individuals, because puberty is what happens is, again, you go through a liquid stage, and then you kind of go into a gelling say transition, and then puberty actually say gels or solidifies your identity. This is where your bone structure turns more into, say, an adult bone structure. This is where the chemical, it like turns on the signals in your brain to go, oh, okay, reaching puberty, we need to go into adulthood, not a child phase. But again, whatever happened to you, 12 to 14, it seems a series of similar events. We don't need to talk about it. It seems like you don't want to talk about it. But we just both know what it's about. It's cool. Take a breath in. Can I help you just recalibrate those ears for you? Would that be okay?
Sure. Of course.
And before you say yes, you'd have to go basically as a 35. How old were you? 35?
35. Yes.
35-year-old. You're going to go back to a 35-year-old and revisit your, your 12-year-old self. And then you'll actually see what happened for you from an outside perspective.
Okay.
That makes sense. Even if you forgot whatever happened or if you blacked it out, that I kind of see that you do. You just don't want to remember those points in time. You have very selective memory, by the way. That makes sense for you.
I do. Yes.
So that selective memory is actually a lifesaver for you because you don't know how to handle things. So what you do is like, well, I'll just like block this out. I'll just like cross it off and then again, just block it off. That makes sense for you?
Yes.
And then move on. But again, that's really good as a child just to block it off because you don't know. But at some point, you'll have to come back and fix those holes in your, say, stream of consciousness. So whatever happened to you around that age, literally you got stuck there. And then you just create yourself over and over again. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Hence your youthfulness. So let's do this if we can. And this actually confuses your body, your hormonal system, because you're 35, okay? Which is,
yes,
again, a hell of a lot older than 12. It's almost 3 times as old. But your blueprint, again, and that blueprint is basically it goes deeper than your autonomic nervous system, but we'll just for ease, your autonomic nervous system, that controls your heartbeat, your liver functions, and everything else that we don't think about that create us here. So your autonomic nervous system, where the deeper layers are going, well, wait a second, am I 12 or am I 35? And this is where a lot of confusion comes in. So even it goes through into your work, it goes through into your relationships. That's why relationships, say, don't last long. And if they do, you start getting treated as a young child in relationships. Does that make sense to you? Or somebody starts to take care of you, so to speak, as a kid, which is kind of nice because, it's like vibrant and so on like that. Or you might even connect with, say, older men, so to speak, right? Because they need, it's kind of that disparity. So anyway, do you have any specific that you
no,
want to ask?
nothing specific. No, nothing specific. No.
So we're on the right track, basically, on the scope of your life.
Yes.
Okay. So what we're doing here, what we'll do, take a breath in, hon. And again, notice the lower part of your brain, hon. 1, let's reactivate. And again, I'm not a doctor, but it's worked for others, so I can't promise anything for you, but most likely it'll happen. So 1, we'll reactivate what happened. So when you go through that process, it literally stunts how you go through puberty, okay? Whatever happened to you. So 1, let's just reactivate your 12-year-old self. So basically what you're going to do, and it's kind of going to strange to you, but it's kind of cool at the same time, so enjoy it. You get to go back to 12 and then live 12 to 35, which is what, about 23 years of life in 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, in about 9 months.
Oh,
so you're going to live 23 years in 9 months. Okay, it's really cool. It's literally, again, that's really fast, but you'll feel like a 12-year-old. You might even, if you had like, acne or whatever, as a 12-year-old, you'd probably, some people actually recreate their acne situations or whatever. But then that sets the tone. It allows you to heal whatever happened to you as that young child, and you get to embrace that young child. And then it allows you to go into your, your mid-teens, your late teens, and relive all those moments the proper way. You'll even experience some of those things, or re-experience some of the things that you did in your early 20s and all that for you. Okay. Which is, and then you get into your 35 and you're a solid 35, still looking youthful though. So because I locked that piece of you, because you were still youthful, but then you want to have that ageless wisdom. But this allows your hormones again to adapt to a youthful identity of who you are. And again, that's where your hormones will start to balance itself out. And then it doesn't mix you up between a 12-year-old and a 35-year-old, because sometimes that confuses you as well. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Just 1 second more. Did your grandpa pass away recently or something?
My dad. My
Your dad
dad. Yeah.
recently?
Yeah.
Okay. So he just kind of came in and not, can I just help you? He just
Sure.
wants help. When did he pass? It just seemed very fresh.
In May. He passed away in May.
Okay. So yeah, his resonance is around you. And well, his consciousness is still, say, here or intact. So let's help you release that as well, since he comes in, if you don't mind. So it allows him to go to a higher level of consciousness, on the other side. But then it also allows you to disconnect from some of the, patterns that you might have inherited from him and your mom. Take a breath in, huh? Let's just release him. It's kind of weird, but I'm just seeing a toy car or something. I don't know if that means like a wooden toy car or something like that. Oh, that was his favorite thing as a child. So, why is that important? Okay, so, I mean, anybody can say that, they crossed him over and all that, but you're going to actually find like a little toy car, like a wooden toy car, just out of random, in a random place. That's actually your dad communicating with you that, one, we communicated, and two, he's in a higher place, and he just loves you. There we go. Yeah. So you'll just see that, and it confirms that, again, we connected, but then also confirms that, gosh, there's something more to this life, because that's what you're searching for as well, the bigger meaning of life. That makes sense for you. So,
yes.
Right. So
thank you so much. Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, guys. Well, we'll be right back. We'll look at Ibiza in London. Guys, it's a really beautiful opportunity for you guys to transform. Just one thing with the London, we've decided to keep it more intimate, so we're not going to live stream London. And we're just going to focus in on the individuals, in the room, in the Science Museum. So it's going to be fantastic. So take a look at this, and we'll be right back. All right. So let's just say that, humans have been, say, held back decades or maybe even hundreds of years, right? In London, what we're going to do is we're going to take that quantum jump forward into where we should have been. This world, this is an opportunity for having it all. Years ago, I was predicting that, there's going to be a whole new paradigm coming through. And now, so everything's unleashed. Everything's broken. The barriers have been broken, the chains and shackles that have been tied to us have been broken. And that's the changes that we've gone through over the past couple of years. So look at you. Look how many generations back. Look at the world. So again, what are you going to do? How are you going to expand? How are you going to enhance who you are? And it's not about what you're doing, by the way. It's how awakened are you? If you're awakened, you're going to create massive value, more value than, say, again, putting your time in and time out. So this event is really a big kickoff for a lot of things. So if you are that individual who is ready to go, who is ready to be complete, who is ready to really fully realize their potential, guys, this event is for you. And again, at the Science Museum, it's going to be an intense, transformative 2-day workshop. Saturday, So this is a separate event, but still in London. We're going to connect with Baramji. He puts into music Rumi's teachings. It's going to be just a cool night just to get into, say, the possibilities of who you are. So again, quantum leaping, London, UK event. A lot of great possibilities coming up, and you're going to just quantum jump into that. Now imagine if you were an awakened spirit coming into this reality. So that's what this Ibiza event is really about. And well, this is the time of freedom now. So now is that breaking point for us. It literally is a time where space and time come together. It's a whole different pattern, not just for humans. It's nature, it's the planets. Again, it's a universal transformation. I think humans should join the party. The Ibiza is really special. There's a portal there. Many people experience it and feel it there. We're going to take that quantum jump forward into first principle consciousness. So that's what this Ibiza event is really about. Intimate morning meditations, daily gourmet lunch, daily dinner, private yacht to explore Ibiza, dancing parties, a lot of, say, adventures. Again, it's just going to be a great, fantastic time. Really nurturing who we are as beings. Not because we deserve it. We already know we deserve it. We're free from that. We can start to create a whole new pattern. So it's our choice. We can either go down that road and get shackled again, or we can go, you know what, this new direction that we could have been on, that we should have been on, now it's open to us again.
Can join that event is really going to be how to do this. A lot of individuals, mosque and there's Google and all that, Alex and all that stuff out there. Again, it's not really messes you up, Elon, but a lot of great inventions go into quantum consciously.
London is quantum jumping the proper way, so you don't get, well, messed up as you age, like a lot of those high-level high flyers do, right? They're very genius or ingenious, but then as they age, they get messed up because they didn't quantum jump properly. I mean, look at Nikola Tesla, look at what's happening to Elon now. They're getting a little more and more stranger as they age. Again, it's through not going in through the matrix the proper way. So that's what we're going to be doing in London. And then we have this fantastic concert with Baramji, which is really cool guy. I met him last year in Ibiza. He in his music, and it's beautiful music, by the way. If you have a chance, take a look at Baramji. I don't know if the team can post the link on how to spell his name. That'd be fantastic. Really beautiful music, but his music comes from the poetry of Rumi, which is really, really beautiful. And together, so what we're going to do is, you know, he's going to be playing music in the background, and I'm going to be talking, you know, about, say, the logistics of life, not just talking, but generating those frequencies and working on people live. And it's really, really, it's really a really cool feel. And you get into those altered states without having to use drugs and so on like that. So really cool. And Ibiza, just defining who you are as a feminine and or a masculine identity. So really understanding the divine feminine, divine masculine, and really bringing it, honing that in. So, all right. We will go to Michelle. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Good.
I'm good.
Nice.
Nice to see you.
Thanks. For a
Boys.
62-year-old, not bad, not bad. Thank you. You as well. Wonder. So it just seems like you're worrying a lot about a lot of things from what I'm seeing. Did somebody or you take the vaccine, by the way?
I did not, and
Okay.
neither did
Uh,
COVID, though. We hung out. It was
okay.
me.
Got it.
She gave it to me. So
Okay.
yeah, really,
It just seems like something happened to you that just say synthesized your nervous system. If that makes sense to you. Did you become like overly sensitive to things?
I am right now, like physically, like even my clothes irritate my skin. I feel it. I'm feeling like really uncomfortable all the time. And
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was hormones because I am about to turn 50.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that's what it is or if
Mhm.
it's maybe like something kind of on me, like energetically, if someone's trying to reach me, something like that. I'm not sure. So that's why I came today, because I
Okay.
do feel like my hormones are off and I'm super sensitive emotionally sometimes. And I'm like, oh, maybe this is menopause. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah. So take a breath in.
Okay.
Again, not a doctor, not diagnosing. I'm just telling you what I see. Could be totally off. So just a couple things, and as we were talking, just working on you as well. Well, let's help you kind of regain your composure. Okay. And this goes to a deeper level. And the reason why I asked if you have COVID or the vaccine, and again, the COVID and the vaccine kind of seem very similar to me. So it's kind of a takeoff of the vaccine, unfortunately. And again, to me, it doesn't look like say a natural virus because it's kind of feels metallic to me. And this is where we have issues with long COVID symptoms, where your body just doesn't know what to do or how to dispose or how to break down the virus, say the genetics of the virus, and then it just sticks in your system. So take a breath in. So that's kind of what I see. And then you're very sensitive to people around you, by the way. I don't know, what do you do exactly? Do you help people or
Um, I I've been a massage therapist for the last maybe 17-ish years, and I really kind of don't want to do it anymore. But
well, I can
I've taken it. I'm kind of taking a break just because a couple things. I'm actually injured. I keep getting injured, and I keep thinking like, well, maybe that's my body just saying like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing this anymore. It's time to do something else.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
the reason why I asked is like, say there's a lot of people that might have taken the vaccine that are your clients,
mhm.
and you're an empath, basically. So what
Yeah.
happened? Literally, like say that COVID shedding that scientists don't believe in, but that's totally bullshit to me, because we as beings, our DNA is always uh, um, sending out information, and we're always pulling in information. So again, your genetics naturally say change with that. So if you have a lot of people, or if you have clients, that have issues and have had the vaccine still, and you're an empathic type individual, and you're just, it just, you, you're pulling in more frequencies than you can dispose of, so to speak. In the past, you used to probably do a good job of, say, cleaning yourself out or detoxing or letting go. The healing mastery, by the way, it shows you how to do it differently. I don't know if you did the healing mastery, but it would be beneficial for you.
Oh, I
So,
was gonna say I did a couple of the human resets, and
okay.
one of them I did really well with the intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
I mean it was mind blowing how much my face changed. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped doing your program just because I wanted to start kind of being independent and making decisions on my own and trying to see what would happen if I didn't do your program.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty good. I kind of go in and out. And then I tried the intermittent fasting on my own, and I think I kind of overdid it. And like that's what that's what I thought maybe messed up my hormones a little bit.
It could. So again, XI is literally like you said, but it does allow you to be independent, but you just weren't ready to be independent. You have a pattern of almost getting to a level where you're really, really
Totally.
stable, and then you pull the rug from out of underneath
Yeah.
yourself. You know what I mean? And then you
Totally.
go back down.
Yeah.
I would suggest doing the healing mastery. It's really fantastic for, again, massage therapists, acupuncturists, even surgeons take the healing mastery, because
Okay.
if you're an absorber or an empath, right, whichever way you look at it, you're pulling in the distortions of your clients, especially nowadays that the tension and anxiety is so high. People
Right.
like you, you're absorbing. So when I see you, you've got the worries or burdens of about a dozen people around you, in and around you. That makes sense. It's kind of crazy, right? So take a breath in. And what I was doing is just helping you like let go of a lot of those things. So as a physical level, you'd want to do something. And if you go to my Instagram, not
Yeah.
Instagram, Telegram channel, it gives you a list of things you can do to clean out some of the COVID type symptoms that you're
Okay.
still having. And again, since you're an empath, even if you didn't take the vaccine, again, this is just what I've seen over thousands of people that I've worked on. So there's no
Yeah.
clinical trials or anything like that. I don't believe in clinical trials anyway, but I love field trials, field studies out of the thousands and thousands of people I've worked on with again amazing results. Um, um, uh, there's physical things that you have to do again to get rid of that the genetic deterioration that's happening
Mhm.
to you. Basically,
Yeah.
your nervous system is like deteriorating at some level, and that's where you're getting irritated even on the inside, and everything is hypersensitive for you. Sometimes, again, I'm just telling you what I see in people. COVID tends to break away or eliminate that natural sheathing protective layer around your nerves.
Okay.
In your family, you have issues with nerve damage, from what I'm seeing. If that makes sense to you, or does your parents or grandparents have like pain, numbing stuff like that, or even atrophy, from what I'm seeing, where organs
Uh,
start to fail, so to speak. Um,
I'm not really sure because most of my family's gone. They're deceased, and I didn't really know what they died of. My mom, maybe. I'm not really sure.
Okay. Well, like they're gone, and most of your family's gone. That's the reason why they probably crossed over. So I would do your research, just
Okay.
to prove to yourself that what I'm seeing is correct. But basically, again, COVID and the vaccines, it just accelerates the issues that you have, physical issues and mental issues that you have. So take a breath in, hon. So what I was doing or helping you with is, one, start to identify who Michelle is, okay? Who you are, versus, because you have like an identity loss in you as well, because you're taking input from so many people. Does that make sense to you? It's like
Mhm.
12 different people yelling and talking to you and giving you directions at one time. It'll confuse the hell out of anybody. And then basically you just want to hide and just leave the world. So that's the general theme that you have. Take a breath in again. Um, there we go. So let's disconnect you from that this way. And also, yes, your hormones are off, but mostly it's your nervous system that I see for you. But again, if you're, say, massaging or, physical therapy of say a 60-year-old woman that had the vaccine and she's got a lot of problems, you're a feeler, you want to help that person, your hormonal system would start to get thrown off, because now you're a 60-year-old woman. That makes
Okay.
sense. That's why you
Yes.
have to shake it off. So one, I'm helping you disconnect from all that stuff for you. Two, I'm helping you identify who Michelle is. So again, maybe not doing therapy for a while, or I see you taking a trip or something as well. I don't know. It could be, I don't know, on a cruise or whatever it might be. I don't know. Whatever it is, it seems like you're leaving. You're you're moving, you're leaving your home for a little bit and just like resetting because it's just easier for you. And when you come back, it's like a whole different identity. Okay. I would suggest on doing the 18 days, even if we're almost done with it. But the good thing is you tried the courses, you had amazing changes, but then you couldn't sustain that change. So the next time, again, I would get consistent with it. And when you think you're ready and when you think you need to pull back and do it on your own, just stay a bit with the coursework, okay, like 18-day meditations or something. And then you'll feel that pattern break where you get to a point and you just crash. And you do this in relationships, you do this with money, you do this with anything that is sustainable for you. You just like destroy it and then start fresh again. So it's not just about doing the coursework, it's just it'll help you break that pattern. And then once you stabilize there, that's when you can say let go of XI and do it on your own and go, shit, I'm good to go on my own. And this is where you can come back to XI and like really expand and understand your possibilities of who you are, which just gets really exciting. You've got a lot of great abilities, but those abilities also destroy you as well. So did all that make sense for you, hon?
Yeah,
So,
very much so.
just one more thing, honey. Just give me a second. Just helping you, and then again, others similar to you, start to disconnect and then also attract the things that you really need. Because it seems like you go through a lot of things to find the right thing as well in the past. So getting more focused on exactly what you need as well. Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
You're so welcome, man. Nice. Yeah, this will help you change a lot because you've been there before. You just needed to get reset. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I just want to give a shout out to this book. It's a client, a dear friend of ours, Mama Noni. And the cool thing about this was supposed to be a recipe book, guys. But then as she went through the process of transformation with XI and all the amazing changes that she's got from XI, it turned into, an amazing book of transformation. And she actually changed it to a Sicilian immigrant tale of sacrifice, lack, and control. So those who are XIers know that individuals in this consciousness run out of those three things: sacrifice, lack, and control. And if you look at anything that you do, if you don't believe me, if you're new, look at the love that you have for people, how you help people, how you make money. There's always one of those ingredients, one or more of those ingredients: lack, sacrifice, and control. That's what's causing your issues. You have to remove yourself out of that consciousness, and that's what exponentially intelligent is about. But this woman, again, amazing. And I just want to share the screen. Just give me a second here with you. She's 75 years old. Okay. And she literally has recalibrated her hormones, how she looks. So her genetics literally has changed, and she's done physical work on herself. But again, you could see the vibrancy, you can feel the vibrancy, and I just want to share this picture with you here. See if you guys can see that, right? So yep. So this woman is 75 years old, and and in this book, she actually shows a picture of her grandma when her grandma was 65 years old, and that's the standard of society. You're 65, you start dying off. But this beautiful woman, Josephine, is just an amazing, like literally has a second chance on life, and she's taken full advantage of it, and that's what you can do with XI. So are we good there? Sorry about that. Yeah. Yep. Just tell me when they finish that up. All right. So can I stop screen sharing here? Okay. Awesome. So again, it's an amazing transformation, isn't it? For me, I'm like 62. really amazing organs, things of that nature, getting younger and younger, which is really quite amazing. Defies, say, scientific knowledge. And that's what we need to do, is defy the current sciences and go beyond that, because the current sciences is, decades old. They're still contemplating like Einstein theories and so on, right? And like recreating that rather than building upon that. We can't do that. I mean, Einstein's theories were the 40s and 50s, right? And we're still using those concepts. They're still good concepts, but again, we need to expand and go beyond that. And that's what XI does. So we'll go to Anne. Anne, how are you?
Mass contacts very soon. Going to simulate answer
Yes.
in
So take a breath in. And again, how old are you, hon? Okay. So so you were, which is an important keyword is were, you were that type of individual, hon, that held on to your old identity. If that makes sense to you? Because of fear, extreme fear. You held on to that identity here. And then what you did and was like recreate another version of yourself here. A lot of you do that, by the way, with XI, which is totally cool. So what's happening now is that this version is completely, complete. It's workable, it's on, it's active. But then you also have your old version, which is on and active. So you're running literally two identities of yourself. You're still afraid to let go of this identity, but instead of like latching on with like both fingers and your legs wrapped around that identity, you've just got like one handhold. And that handhold, if you don't mind, let's disconnect that from you, or you just like let that piece go for you. Okay. And then you just exist in this identity of your own. Otherwise, it gets very, very confusing for you. Okay. Does that make sense to you, how that works? You kind of switch back and forth, basically. Your old
Yeah, I
self.
see it. Mhm.
Yep. So this allows you, and by the way, your again, for your protection, you had like a masculine frequency wrapped around you, which didn't help you with your relationships or anything like that. But now you're becoming more and more feminine. It seems like your body shape has changed as well. Does that make sense? More feminine for you?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
You're proportional in the right places, for example, as well, from what I'm seeing. Well, again, more female looking. But the thing is that sometimes we might not um, be able to own the femininity or the beauty that we're coming into, right? Because we're still projecting from that old version that says, well, I'm not that attractive, or I'm not a female, or I don't look like a female, all that. So all those kind of things are changing for you, which kind of mess you up. So, okay. And then hormonally, you said you were 49. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you were 49. So you've come to a point, and which is really exciting, just like this here, Josephine, you've come to a point that you're going, wait a second, I'm turning 50, but I don't want to turn like the normal conventional 50-year-old. I just got my life back. So what you're doing is you're trying to fight against that, going through that process. But you can't fight it at a mental level like most people do. But let's like revisit or rewire who you are, or reset. I would call it your genetic age or your cellular age. That's okay for you.
Yes, that's good.
So this way, again, you found yourself, but now you're like getting close to 50, and you're going, wait a second, I want to just recreate life or have that second chance on life now that I know what life is about. Does that make sense how that works? So is it okay to set you back a bit? And since you're a little fearful, and we can always, reset you, but let's just set you back to 45, 44. How's that sound? Is that okay for you?
How about 40?
I was thinking of 41, 40, yes, but it's going to be an easier process for you if you just take little bites, just because it gives you more confidence in yourself. Because from 49, almost 50 to 40, that's a big jump for you, for you. Does that make sense? And it just process, you go through detox a bit more. So what, instead of that big leap, why not go 45? You go, gosh, this feels good. I'm seeing all the changes. And then at that time, you can go, hey, you know what? I can jump over to 40. So it's not like you're stuck at 45, but it just makes it easier. And then you start to understand, say, the mechanics of XI, and you have more confidence and completeness for you. Okay.
Good.
Um, yeah. So let's see if we can set you back to 45. And then for those, again, who are in that state and want to actually recreate themselves, or for those who are going through, say, menopause type situations, and even men, it's just a different form of menopause that we go through, where your testosterone levels start to drop and so on like that. Basically, men's menopause, I guess. Those types of individuals, whoever wants to be, say, a younger feel about, say, by about 5 years. So go ahead and just take a breath in. And for you, if you don't mind, I'll just take you through a visual. Take a breath in and just notice, okay, that you're you visited someplace, you're in an Airbnb. House was never yours. Again, you just rented that space, and that space was basically, you got comfortable with it. It was you, it was your body, it was your identity. But again, it was never really yours. Okay. So you don't have to worry about leaving it behind. You paid your dues, you paid the fee, whatever it is. But now it's time to go. It's time to come back home into your own brand new sense of self, or brand new identity or body, or a brand new house. So is that visual clear for you, hon? Take a breath in.
Yes.
Perfect. How easy is it to go, oh, okay, I got to pack up and then just leave, and then see yourself. You don't even have to pack up. You can just leave everything there, by the way. Hell, why don't we just do that? Just leave everything there. And then visualize yourself at the door.
I'm actually already out in the fields beyond the fence.
Okay, great. Just check your pockets or purse or anything like that. You don't have the keys or garage door or anything. You just let go of that, so you can never go back to that house. You can't re-rent it or anything.
Yeah, I'm throwing stuff out of the pockets.
Good, because you tend to hide things deep inside, which brings fear. That's why I bring that up for you. So there we go. How's that feel for you? Do you feel free?
Actually, a little bit in the
scared?
head. Um,
I didn't hear you. What happened?
I'm actually feeling a bit heady. So I'm trying to be embodied.
Perfect. No, that's totally perfect. You're feeling heady because, again, that's how you've, say, controlled your fear back in the day. So you're actually seeing how you're feeling. Don't try to visualize anything, but just notice that you're heady. And then once your higher self, and that's why these XI images are very different than normal, say, visualization exercises. It's a gauge for me to see how I'm rewiring you. So you're heady, which is really good. That's the way you've always been. Now you can drop into your body even more once you realize that. And then this is where you actually own being a beautiful woman. And you own it, you express it, and you're not afraid. You're just who you are now. And this is where, again, your hormones and everything will start to calibrate as a 45-year-old. Just note, if you're we'll just say 49, and you reset at 45 or whatever age that you guys decided on, what'll happen for you is that you might actually look a little older because your DNA is going, wait a second, I'm 45. When I look in the mirror, why do I look like a 50-year-old, for example? And this is as time goes by, 3 months or so, as your cells reproduce, you'll actually start to look younger and younger, and that's where you get the elasticity back in your skin, your telomeres improve, and all that stuff will start to happen for you, and your hormones will change for you as well. Sometimes women even go back to their menstrual cycle if they've lost their menstrual cycle. That's how, again, the powerful the transformations are, because your body actually says, hey, I'm a lot younger than my current age. And then all those cycles start back up, which is a sign of youth for you. Okay.
I'm actually going through perimenopause right now.
Yep. Yeah. So that's why I mentioned that. You'll probably go back and have maybe a full cycle here and there, if that makes sense for you. Because again, you're going back to a younger age, which is, again, confusing at first. But then as your body reclaims itself, then you'll be more and more solid. Okay.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Really nice job. Just want to read this comment about water. I use the Berkey water system. What about activated charcoal water? I still use moss food and water. Medis, the body keeps the score. Is great book. Body Keeps the Score is a great book about how trauma is stored in the body. Yeah, so take a look at that, guys. The water system, actually, I got some filters. We bought some filters a while back, and it's by this, I would call it kind of like a crazy type inventor. Really works out really well. We're gonna introduce that to you. We just got limited supplies. I'm gonna have my son Zeus and Zach demonstrate that for you on an upcoming Moss on Sunday on a water filter system that you can put as a household system, and it really, say, re-engineers the water for you. They'll tell you all the science behind it. It's really cool. I use it in my water system, or if you're traveling a lot like we do, you can pour the water that you're drinking, just pour it in a couple times, cycle it, and you'll actually feel the difference or experience the difference, and you can absorb it better. So that water system is coming up for you as well. So take a look at that. So hopefully, coming back to the hormones, you can start to see that it's more than just hormone imbalance, and it's just more than just chemicals and things of that nature. There's a lot of things in the background that affect your hormone, that affect your hormones. Right? Once you can stabilize that, even women who go through their monthly cycles, and they get all hormonal or all messed up, or they have so much pain, that they have to sleep it off, or they're just at home literally crippled. Those individuals, once you stabilize at a frequency level, at a very, very deep level, your master blueprint, you can eliminate all those and have, again, a straight flow, so to speak, in life. And your hormones will stay more youthful and more vibrant. So hopefully this helped you out, guys. In the future, we'll have, again, more dedicated impact sessions. And if you're interested in having an impact session and you fit the theme, comment in or look for the link where you can sign up. All right, guys, as we end, notice what you notice and notice the details of what you're noticing. All right, peace.